FestiPaul. I'm sitting here alongside Josh Holmes, the detective of the music scene, as I always like to throw out there now and again. I'm just playing on names more than anything there, Josh. Don't worry. Yeah, that's what we needed, exactly. Lovely to see you, Josh. Wide-eyed and sparkling free, like a young man that you are. You've been playing music for a long, long time, and that's what we're going to be talking about, your journey in music, but also you become a solo act as well.
Yes.
But before that, let's go right from the beginning. Let's know the man behind the music. So, Josh, what were you? When did you become somebody who was thinking, I'm going to be a musician?
So I kind of started piano when I was about really young, about 6, 7. And it was kind of all the classical reading out of books and stuff, but I didn't really get on with that.
Yeah.
So that was a short-lived experience until I got to about secondary school, and I picked up drums.
Okay.
And that was then playing along to pop songs, rock songs, even jazz. I was like, this is fun.
Yeah.
Then I remember when I was about 13, I went to my first ever gig, which was to see The Script it was the LG Arena back then.
Good band.
Yes, amazing. Then as soon as I went into that room, the energy between just the crowd standing there all talking, you saw the stage set up, all the kit on there and everything. I kind of thought, yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
Imagine being up on that stage. I'm a bit far away yet, but
yeah.
It's a start.
And that's what your admiration was. You were seeing this band performing, doing what they're doing, and thinking, one day I'm going to be on a stage doing what they're doing.
Exactly,
Whether it be in a band or as a solo act.
Yeah, well, I initially thought the band thing sounded cool. So you got the same 4 guys going around the world, all really good mates, touring and stuff.
Yeah.
Sounds amazing.
So let's take a little step back. You said you started playing piano.
Yes.
Do you still play piano or keyboards or anything like that?
I attempt.
You attempt?
I can do enough to get by, so I can write my songs, I can play the pop songs that I need to play, and if I sit down and really try and focus on it, I can do more complicated things.
So you play piano. I know you play drums, and I also know you play guitar.
Yes.
Now you're what we call a multi-instrumentalist. That's a mouthful. That's a mouthful, isn't it? Is there any other instruments that you play that people might not know about?
Well, obviously vocals now, being a solo artist, that was quite a big step. Because when I obviously started guitar, it must be about when I was 13, 14, I got my first guitar. I was like, I want to kind of start writing music and doing that. And then so did that for a bit, but could never really sing. And then I kind of started vocal lessons 2-3 years ago now.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just want to do backing vocals. So I want to be able to go into a studio session and just sing a melody and it sound okay.
Yeah.
Maybe put some demo vocals on the tracks that I'm writing for people.
Yeah.
I never kind of thought of it more as like, okay, this is going to go on my songs.
Yeah. And what did you find easier? Piano, drums, singing, or guitar?
I think drums are definitely, I'm behind the drum kits.
So you've become a new style of Dave Grohl, maybe.
Oh, not quite yet.
Not quite there, but hey, he started on drums and then suddenly picks up a guitar and look what he's doing now, fronting one of the biggest bands in the world. Could you be the next Dave Grohl?
We'll find out in the next interview.
Yes, but also you do the behind the scenes as well. You're not just on the stage. You do things behind the scenes as well, and that's a busy thing to do for any anybody who's managing a band or singing as a musician. So you kind of got the whole criteria. I mean, you're only a young man. How old are you?
I'm 22.
22. 20. I've got bread older than you. So it just shows you that you've learned a lot in a very short period of time. So did you learn this kind of while sitting in a bedroom, or did you go to college or university?
I did go to uni. I did a music business degree, which was an accelerated 2-year course. So really intense for 2 years. But the stuff I was learning there wasn't quite like, it was the kind of the basics.
Yeah.
And then I felt I had to go away and learn that all in a real experience. So when I started uni, we formed bands in the first 2 weeks of starting uni. And then we were kind of like, well, we need to get gigs. We need to front it somehow.
Yeah.
And rather than going down the typical route of setting up a Gmail address and emailing people, I was like, why don't I start up a management company and we'll get a listed domain name. So that was when my company, kind of Glowing Management, was born. And since then, I've had various artists come and go from that. I've been working with loads of people on it and just kind of refining my business skills, testing out what works, what doesn't work, helping bands to understand as well what works, what doesn't work. But I think the best bit about it is it's all been on a super low budget.
Yeah.
So it's not what can you achieve with £10,000. It's what can you achieve, how can you release an album when you got £50, £100 to put into it.
Yeah, yeah.
And kind of getting really creative with all that side of things. It's been great fun to do.
It looks like you can have a bright future, that's for sure. You know, you seem to know what you're doing. That's the thing. But let's go right. When I looked a little bit of info on yourself, I looked at around about 2012. Crikey, I can't even imagine.
Going back for that.
Yeah, I mean, you just come out of nappies by that time. But I think you were playing either your first show or at the Warwick University. I saw something about Warwick University.
Yes, that is going back far.
Yeah.
So that was probably when I was at school. I was in loads of school bands. That was kind of when I started school, the drum lessons.
Yeah.
I then joined. There was orchestras, jazz bands. So I kind of tried to get in my foot in with all of those. So I just had the minor parts, like the triangle, the little tambourine parts.
I was very good on the triangle.
It's great fun, though,
I was very good.
So I kind of did all that. And then we had a gig at Warwick Uni. So it was a school, it was a classical event.
Yeah.
But kind of, that was my first experience of a big crowd. It was 1,500 seater in there.
Yeah.
And it was full.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of the first time I'd been properly in front of a crowd doing something. Even though I was just at the back, it still felt like you were there in front of everyone.
Yeah, of course. And how did you feel? Were you nervous or was the adrenaline? How did you feel?
I think when you're that young, you just you're there backstage with your friends and stuff.
Yeah.
I think the school I was at, Warwick School, it teaches you really well. So I did all the drama stuff there.
Yeah.
So I've always been used to kind of being on a stage in front of people.
Yeah.
Especially in such a big orchestra, you're messing around backstage with friends. You go on, you play a bit of music, you go back off.
Yeah.
And I was like 12 at the time, so you don't really understand what people are thinking out there.
Yeah, of course.
Then we did the same concerts a couple of years later, and I actually recorded that as a charity CD.
All right.
So that was another project I got involved with. And then when I went on stage that time, same place, same sort of style of things. But I felt that a lot more. Like, it was terrifying. You stand out there, look in front of all those people. You're like, there's quite a few people.
Well, I always say when you're around about between the ages of 6 to 12, you don't really have these nerves. It's just kind of, oh, okay, let's go on stage. But around about 14, 15 onwards, you kind of understand what's going on, so to speak, and the nerves really kick in. And how did this single do, by the way?
Well, from the school one?
Yeah.
It was really well. So we recorded the whole concert in stage, so every single song was then on this album of a CD.
Yeah.
And we raised £1,300 for charity, split between two charities.
Oh, bravo.
Thank you.
And what charities were they?
One was Kissing It Better
in
Warwick, and the other was... now you're testing me. What was it?
I don't know.
It was one the school where the school made us kind of give it to this charity they were supporting at the time. So Kissing It Better was our choice. Then the other half went to whatever the school was supporting at the time.
Yeah, yeah. Now, during this period of time, I think, I might be wrong, that you joined a band/duo, I think, the Civilians.
Yes, that was the first kind of thing I ever did with someone.
Yeah.
And was like, this is a start of a band. So we did attempt to have more than two members.
Yeah.
So originally I was supposed to be the drummer.
Yeah.
But we couldn't find a guitarist, bassist. So it was drums and vocals don't work too well together.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll play guitar.
Yeah.
So then we kind of did some cover songs. I was writing some originals for my GCSE music at that point. So we then started recording some of those, releasing some of those.
Yeah.
And it just kind of went through. That was with one singer. Then we switched to another singer.
Yeah.
So, and that was then kind of more in the flow of things. She was more invested with me. So we kind of got to quite a good stage. It was all good fun as well.
And one of the songs released was Two-Faced.
Yes.
Yes. And how did that do?
It did fairly well.
Yeah.
The school were very supportive of it. So one of
That's
the teachers put posters up of it and things. So, and that was kind of a big confident boost for myself.
Yeah.
And then on YouTube, I think it got almost 1,000 views. So, which wasn't bad considering we were, 14, 15?
Yeah. Is that something you would bring to your set today? Would you delve into that back pocket and bring some of those old songs out?
My friends love it.
Yeah.
They're always singing it in the car, and they said we should bring it back.
Would you say that's your kind of Oasis, your Wonderwall track?
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. No, it's. I think it's one I'll leave, and maybe if I'm desperate for music in a few years, then I'll recycle it.
Yeah, yeah. Would you think about like, re-editing something like that and putting onto an album?
Possibly, because at the moment we're obviously working on my music and getting new tracks together and things, and working with my producer, and he's saying, "Oh, what have you done in the past?" So I sent him some of the stuff we've done, and actually one of the songs I wrote, I think it was the third song I ever wrote. He was like, "Well, we can actually make this work, and it could be quite a nice one to fit in with the style I'm going for at the moment."
And when did you realise that you were a songwriter? Did you do kind of poetry that led up to this, or straight in?
No, I think I went straight in with songwriting, because obviously I've seen the scripts and stuff, and then I picked up the guitar. I was like, I wanted to take it somewhere else. So then Two-Face was the first song I ever wrote.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is quite fun. Then, because I won a competition to go to a studio down in London. So a real professional recording studio where Peter Andre had recorded.
Oh, fantastic.
So
was he there?
Stuff. Not quite.
No? Okay.
We didn't check all the cupboards, though.
Yeah, well, there we go. There we go.
And then, so once we recorded Two-Face there, we had this really nice sound. And, well, looking back, it wasn't the best sound. Yeah. But for what we were used to, that was like amazing.
Yeah.
So kind of having that piece of work made me go, actually, I really want to refine these skills and then work solidly as a songwriter, start writing with people. And then, obviously, now it's led to me writing my own songs.
Yeah, which is fantastic. I mean, obviously, The Civilians is a little piece of your past. We're looking at like 2016 era, around that period of time, and I saw you in 2 bands. And this was the shocking thing for me, because I thought, one person in 2 bands, what's this all about? I wasn't really understanding what was going on at the time. So you had, I believe, Kenilworth's The Dirty Shacks with Cole.
Yes, we were. I was involved with that. Yes.
Yeah. Strange name for a band, but hey, I remember it, so it sticks.
It was going to go big.
And how was that for you?
That was interesting, because that was the first band I was in where it was kind of, there was 4 of us.
Yeah.
I worked with, because it was Cole Stock who was the front man of that and kind of organising it all.
Yeah.
And I worked with him at the Clarendon Arms in Kenilworth, just a local pub. And I started putting up drum covers online. Yeah. So on YouTube, I had a couple of drum covers, and he'd seen it. All these chefs were in there watching all my drum covers one day. And then Cole was like, "Oh, do you want to just come and jam with the bands and see how things go?"
Yeah.
So then we kind of led from that. And it was quite fun playing songs that I hadn't written or that weren't covers. So I was learning his original songs that he'd written for the band.
Because I think when I was on another station, I think your face appeared in my studio more times than anyone else, because you came in with 2 different bands.
Yes, we were. I like the studio. I was quite fond of being there.
Yeah, play games and all that.
You couldn't get rid of me, could you?
No, I couldn't get rid of you. He was in the cupboard. But Dirty Shacks, we obviously had that. How long did that last for? Because I think he's gone solo himself now, hasn't he?
He has. I think he always, inside him, he wanted to go solo. We could feel that, but we were just kind of there for a bit of fun. How long did it last? It must have been a couple of years on and off. We were just we wouldn't have regular rehearsals once every couple of months.
Yeah, and my kind of introduction to you was the Clinks.
Yes, that was the main time where we properly sat down and spoke to each other.
Yeah. And that was a nice little journey, playing a few. I got to see you perform a few places. Got to the finals of I think it was Godiva Calling.
Yes.
Put on a fantastic show. But unfortunately, another band that kind of went off into the wind, into the breeze, and disappeared.
I think that was the band where it was great fun while it lasted. Yeah. We had some good times, but it kind of ran its course towards the end, and we were all. It was a very nice last gig, but because we knew it was the last gig, it was a nice kind of close the chapter, and everyone carries on then. The 2, Nick and Alif, went back to their various countries, and then we just kind of all mellow, just left and quite happy, still friends.
Was there many tears at the Bishop and Actress? Is that? I think it was what it was.
The Actress and Bishop.
Yeah. I knew I'd get it wrong.
Almost, yeah. We did. We had a great night that night. Yeah, and you see there's a picture of on Instagram of us all. We kind of all huddled up on stage right at the end, which someone took, and it looks amazing.
I thought it was a rugby scrum. I'm not going to lie.
It kind of was, yeah.
But that was August 2019, and since then I mean, obviously with everything that's happened in 2020, how have you been? Because you took a bit of a quiet period. Now, is this the delve into what you're doing now, your solo act?
Yes, this is where it kind of was born, I guess.
Yeah.
So at the end of August 2019, when Nick and Alif were preparing to go home and stuff, there was about a month where we weren't in the Clinks. We finished the gig and we were just kind of hanging around. We finished uni as well. So I just invited Nick and Alif around. I was like, well, do you want to come and write a song for one of my solo things? I'm thinking I might start it. I'm not sure. They kind of laughed at me because my vocals were dreadful back then. They were like, yeah, as if you're going to do a solo thing.
But I think you was taught by another fantastic musician, Taylor Louise.
Yeah, she was my first ever vocal coach.
Yeah. And she's great at what she does as well. But let's move on to your music now, because Move On. Yes. And that's what we've done. We've moved on now. So Move On is really your first solo single, so to speak. And how's that going for you? This single, this was kind of, if you wish, without disrespectful, the kind of guinea pig song, the song just to put out there and see what people thought.
Yes, it was. Yeah, because I'd never really done anything like this where, especially vocally, I've never done anything where it's been, I feel vocals are quite vulnerable.
Yeah.
So having that out there where people are quite judgy of your vocals and things was quite a big step for me to put it out there. And Move On was quite the most fitting song to go, it kind of felt like it had to be the first single.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of the end of everything I went on at uni, everything kind of finished, and it was a whole new start, really.
Yeah.
And that was kind of then when Move On was written, created. It was written about 2.5 years ago. So 1.5 years ago now. So
being parts of bands and having to kind of be the manager of these bands, so to speak. Now you're the manager of yourself.
Yes.
And is it less pressure or is it more pressure?
It's a weird sort of pressure, because the only pressure I've got is pressure I give myself.
Yeah.
So
are you your worst? Are you a critique of yourself?
Yes, hugely. Yeah. That's why stuff never gets released. I sit on it for so long thinking, I could probably do better. But then at some point, you've just got to put it out there. That's what with Move On, it just had to go out. And now I've started, it's kind of pushing me to do more stuff. But I've got a great team around me. So I've got a consultant that helps with business decisions and stuff. Great videography team.
Yeah.
And so many other people around me, which is nice. So I've got these responsibilities, but there's people to support me around me.
Yeah.
So I'm not completely alone like I am with other bands where they rely solely on me.
Yeah. And I always say step out your comfort zone and you'll learn a lot quicker. And this is kind of what you've done. You kind of stepped out your comfort zone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Massively.
Have you performed live yet? Just as yourself?
No, not at all. I've never done any live gigs on my own.
So how do you think? Let's say I put you in a gig in the next couple of weeks. How do you think you're going to feel? Not being behind the drum, but now standing at the front of the stage by yourself with no band members around you. How do you think you're going to feel?
I think when I'm there, I'll be terrified.
Yeah.
But thinking about it, I think I'm really excited to kind of get out there now and do it, because I've been working, especially my new vocal coach and stuff. We've been working really hard on getting this live set together.
Yeah.
And so my goal for 2020, we set all these goals, was to go and do a gig in April, which was short-lived. So now that's kind of, we've been working on just how playing guitar while singing and stuff and creating this really nice live set.
Yeah.
So kind of still refining that. And once that's done, I think we're really confident just to go out and do it, and really excited as well.
Yeah. Well, as we are moving on, the song Move On, where did you get the idea for the lyrics for this song?
So at the time, I was going through a bit of a breakup from long-term relationship.
Yeah.
Long-term relationship.
Yeah.
So that was kind of where Move On. Well, actually, Move On. There's a little bit of a hidden meaning in it. It was originally written about the Clinks, which no one really knows.
Yeah.
So the whole thing of the chorus, the verse started 2 years ago. That was the Clinks started 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the whole thing of you've got to move on from being in the band, you got to move on to like new things. There's going to be best things that come up.
Yeah.
But then going through this breakup at the time, it kind of then transformed into all my friends could see that I was unhappy, but there was something still keeping me in that relationship.
Yeah.
And so then the song kind of transformed into this thing of you've got to move on, but you're going to get these good times again with other people. So you kind of, for the better, your friends are telling you, it needs to be done.
Yeah.
And that's then kind of like that uplifting bridge of got to move on, got to be strong.
I mean, admittedly, I thought, although you say not many people thought about it, I did think Move On was about moving on from the Clinks.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't know your relationship status at the time. So,
yeah.
So me seeing the title of the song, I thought, okay, that's clever. He's moving on from being in bands to... So that's what I thought.
It's a double meaning of a song.
And how's it gone so far? Obviously, you've had family and friends have said things, but have you had people who don't know you say things about the band? Say things about the song.
Yeah, I've had quite a few comments from a couple of strangers, and even old school friends who I never really spoke to at school. They've dropped me messages of saying, really heard what you're doing, really love it.
Yeah.
So kind of having that support from people who, even though we weren't close friends at school, everyone's still kind of there and supporting each other. It's a great sort of feeling.
Yeah. And it's a massive confidence boost as well, I'd imagine.
Yes, usually, yeah.
Which also gives you that chance now. You're just thinking, oh, I've got to get on that stage and perform this song live to people.
Yes, I really want to just get out there and do it.
Yeah. They've heard the studio version. Let's go and do the acoustic and live version. But of course, a recent song that's been released, Can't Stop Thinking About You.
Yes.
I've got obviously a song dedicated to me, which I think is a lovely, lovely thing for you to write a song about me.
I know, I really struggled in between our last interview and this one. Like, I just couldn't stop thinking about you.
I know. It touches me. But no, really. Where did you get the idea for the title and for this song? The lyrics for this song.
So I was just, as you do, you message an old friend, see if they're up for like a drink or something, just meet up. And then I kind of found out she was single like I was, and kind of the drink went really well. And I kind of thought, oh, maybe this could go further somewhere. So we did another. I kind of thought it might be a date.
Yes.
Turns out it really wasn't.
Date? What's one of those? Like, they hang off trees, don't they? I don't know.
Yeah. So we then went on this thing, and then it was clear it was just going to be friends, which was fine. But in between though, the first one, the second one, it was playing on my mind and stuff. All these thoughts were going through my head of, oh, I really want this to happen. I can't stop thinking about you, sort of thing. So that's kind of where that came about. And then in the pre-chorus stuff, it mentions about, oh, am I supposed to be in love with you? Am I supposed to be friends with you?
Yeah.
So you just don't know what the right way to do it is. You don't want to mess up the friendship if it goes wrong.
Yeah.
But then it'd be great if you could have something together.
Yeah, yeah. And listening to this song, it's a step up, would you agree, from Move On?
Yes, hugely. This is kind of much more in my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Because Move On, we kind of wrote it. I didn't know what my vocal range was or what I could achieve. So it was a bit ambitious, I think.
Yeah.
But this one, we kind of put it down to where I'm comfortable. It's this really uplifting kind of movie sort of song.
Yeah.
So it's definitely kind of more where I'm at home with now.
And where did you record these songs?
Well, we actually record everything remotely. So I record my part. So I do drums and vocals on all the tracks, occasionally a couple of other bits. So I record those either at home or in a studio in Birmingham.
Yeah.
And then, so Alif's my producer. He'll record quite a lot of bits. But for Move On, Nick did all the guitars and things.
Yeah, yeah.
So Nick's an incredible guitarist. We've got these amazing solos and things.
Yeah, I remember he's brilliant guitarist, and I said that to him when I met him. But also you got your video team behind you, and you've been doing some videos. Yeah. So where have you been recording these videos? Are they top secret? Are they not allowed to be said? Or
no. Well, the Move On one's been out for a while now.
Yeah, yeah.
So we did that in Warwick.
Yeah.
Mixture of Warwick and the Hare and Hounds in Birmingham. So all the live shots and the shots are in a pub. That was all done in the Hare and Hounds. It's amazing venue.
Yeah, yeah. And your recent one?
Yes, we shot that over 3 days in Derby sort of way.
Yeah, yeah, Derby.
Yeah.
Lovely. I do. I mean, I like Birmingham and I like Warwick, obviously. But Derby's a lovely place.
Oh, it was, yeah.
Isn't it a lovely place?
It is.
But you got a new track coming out, Picture Perfect.
Yes. So that's one we shot the music video for over the last few weeks.
Yeah, yeah. And what's Picture Perfect all about? Because obviously, nobody's heard it.
Yes, no, it's the top secret one at the moment.
Yes.
So Pitch Perfect's actually about a girl I work with.
Oh, okay.
So I've got many jobs, so it could be very, it's very open to which job and which girl it is.
Yeah.
But so it's kind of about, you kind of from a distance, you've spoken to her at work, you like each other, or you don't know if you like each other, you like her.
Yeah.
But you don't know if it's going to happen. So you kind of in your head, you create this picture perfect life with each other. Oh, if we did end up going out, we could go holidays together, and then all these kind of, building this life.
Yeah, yeah. And does this person know that you like them?
I don't think so.
No?
Ask the song in this interview, maybe.
Maybe. Who knows? Who knows?
Just drop some subtle hints.
Yeah. You'll have a few ladies listening to this going, is it me? Is it me? You don't know.
No.
You don't know. Unless you take that step forward.
It was an internet frenzy, couldn't I?
You could do. You'd fly, put it on TikTok, boom, 65 million before you know it.
I don't know that many girls.
But you got future songs coming out as well. And are you kind of looking at just releasing singles or maybe an EP or an album at a later date?
At the moment, I definitely want to go down the single route.
Yeah.
Just because of timescales and stuff. It's so nice just to be able to release something I've recently worked on.
Yeah.
Whereas I think if I do EP and album, you work on it for so long. And then it's out, and it's like, okay, is that it?
Yeah.
It kind of feels a bit like anticlimactic when it's released. it just drops off. But singles, you kind of keep the momentum going, have great fun, be able to do music videos for most of them as well, lyric videos, which I feel like you kind of sometimes lack in an album and EP.
Yeah. And during this lockdown period, of course, that everybody's gone through, is this giving you the chance to write more?
I've been busier than I've ever been in throughout lockdown. Because each lockdown I've tried to keep busy, so starting something new. So I've done a course in digital marketing, set up a record label. I work with a drum clinic now. So all these various things, it's kind of been really hectic just while there is nothing else to do. It's been great just to build up all this music side. Yeah. And it has been nice just to sit down and write. But I also feel there's nothing to write about. I'm not going out. I'm not doing anything. There's just nothing to write about. So
you didn't write a song about the pandemic?
Everyone did that. Though,
I know.
They?
That's
yeah.
So you didn't go down that trail.
Oh, did I? It's not going to be released if I did.
No,
I don't think it was any good.
But you started doing all these different style things, and what are you hoping to lead to with all these multitude of different ideas and different things that you're putting your fingers into different pies? So what kind of pie are you hoping to make in the near future?
Good question. The pie is still in the oven and still up for grabs on what's going in it.
Good answer.
Yeah. But the whole reason for starting this solo thing was because I went on tour with a guy called James TW. He was used to be a local artist, and now he's signed with Universal and stuff. Toured with Shawn Mendes. Yeah. So I tagged along on his. He was doing a headline tour around the UK. As just a bit of crewing work experience sort of thing. Then we went out for a couple of drinks, and he just asked me. He said, "Oh, where do you see yourself going? Where do you want to be and stuff?" And I remember saying just something like, "Oh, I want to do the solo stuff, but I don't see it as a viable career path." Yeah. And he just said two words to me that kind of, even to this day, I still think about them. He said, "Why not?" And kind of every reason from then, I thought, why aren't I doing this? They were all excuses. There was no actual reason why I'm not out there doing it. So that was then kind of why, and especially managing bands. I feel like if I can't do it myself, why can I manage a band? So now I'm out there I'm feeling what my artists are feeling the pressure of, you need the release out by this date. The music video's not ready, or the lyric video's not there. You've missed your content. It's all having those pressures that the artist usually has. Yeah. As a manager, when I was just managing, I didn't feel it. And I was kind of then maybe a bit harsher because I didn't know what pressure they're under.
So as a 22-year-old that you are now, where do you see yourself at the age of 25? That's 3 years' time.
That is. I haven't thought that far. I haven't thought till next week.
Didn't see that one coming, did you?
No. I really want to kind of keep going with this, hopefully build it up to kind of then start doing like headline gigs where it's about 400 or 500 people, constantly selling that out around the UK would be nice. Yeah. And again, building up my management company and other things, just meeting people, networking, and just enjoying stuff. Yeah. I think we've had so long, especially with the pandemic and everything, with all locked up, not being able to do what you want to do. Yeah. I just kind of want to go out and do everything.
Controversial question. What's more important for you? Is it standing on stage and performing as a solo act, or is it behind the scenes and being this manager and label holder?
I think both have really appealed to me. So that's why I did the management course, because I was looking at doing a performance degree, but I kind of thought I can get lessons, I can do the performance stuff. Yeah. But having that business side, like, I love sitting down. I'm weird. I love sitting down doing emails, like doing all the logistic planning for tours and stuff. That's where it's the sort of stuff I really love. Yeah. So ultimately, I wanted to go into tour management, where you get to do all that stuff. But then, as well, I love being on stage. Yeah. So I think if I could do both, so tour with my artist, I'll do all their tour management stuff, and then maybe be a support act for them. Yeah. It cuts costs, and we're both having a great time. Yeah. So, I'm not sure.
So if there was a stage, and we're going to look at this realistically, okay? Because a lot of people turn around and say, "Oh, the Pyramid Stage at Glastonbury," okay? Yes. But you got to suddenly boom, be the next Ed Sheeran. Yeah. I'm not saying you wouldn't, but boom, that's where you're going to be. So, what stage in your mind would you like to be performing on in the next, let's say, 10 years?
Oh, 10 years.
I'll give you a nice 10-year.
I think within the next couple of years, I would definitely love main stage Godiva for maybe Godiva Calling or something. That's always been, obviously as a kid, you just walk down, go to Godiva Festival, see all these acts on, and that's something that it's be like a hometown show sort of thing. I think that would top it off for a while. Yeah. And And then ultimately within 10 years, I'd love to play like arena level would be nice.
Yeah.
So maybe a headline show. The Rico Arena has always been a goal. I know it's a bit out there, but
always been a goal, eh? So we did that.
Yeah.
And if you were to be the warm up act for a major act, who would it be? Who would you want to be?
I'd love to tour with Shawn Mendes.
Shawn Mendes.
Yeah, he's got an incredible live set. And we've been working with this drummer a bit with one of my other projects.
Yeah.
So it'd kind of be great just to jump in with them, see how it all works, all the setup and stuff. And as well, I'd love to see the way he adapts each show round on tour. Must be incredible.
So what would you say to somebody who is of your age and they're sitting in their bedroom twanging a guitar or playing any style of instrument or maybe just singing them to themselves in a mirror? What would you say to somebody of your age right now to go step out of that comfort zone and do something? So leaving it to you, in your words, what would you tell that person?
I'd say just go for it. I'm a very firm believer in you can do anything you want. So I've, because I was being the management side, to cut costs down, I've had to learn video editing for quick things, graphic design, all these various skills, which I never thought I really wanted to or could do.
Yeah.
I think that you can just do everything you want if you just follow YouTube tutorials and stuff. But you just need to be motivated, work hard at it.
Yeah.
And hopefully it happens. I can't speak from experience for anything like being successful yet.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Who knows, exactly.
Yeah.
Who knows what the future may lead.
Yeah.
And where can people find your music and, of course, your label, etc.?
Yeah, so at the moment, I'm focusing heavily on Spotify and things. All my songs are out there everywhere, as everyone's are. But I'm heavily active on Spotify and Instagram at Josh Holmes Music.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the ones I'm really focusing on, trying to build those up. Then hopefully the others will build up with it over time.
Yeah, yeah. And spell Holmes, because there might be people out there thinking it's Homes.
No, just like Sherlock. Holmes.
The detective link, of course.
Yes.
Would you ever step back into a band, or is it solo all the way now?
I think I would, if I ever went into a band, I would never manage them again.
Yeah.
I think managing from within a band, there's too many conflicts where your opinion often gets undermined, or you feel like you have to be too bossy to get the band where it should be.
Yeah.
So I think I would always, if I ever went back into a band, I'd be just the drummer.
Yeah, yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah. Or maybe even the triangle.
Yes. Yeah. So if anyone's looking for a triangle player, let me know.
So it's been a nice journey, what you've taken up to this point.
It has been. It's been great fun, working with a great team, really close friends as well, which has been nice.
Yeah, it's always nice to have that close friendship, you know.
It is, yeah.
Sometimes you can step on somebody's shoes by complete accident and it just ruffles the feathers.
Yeah.
But as long as you stay friends with people, you got that support, you support them.
Yeah, and now I'm solo as well. I can choose who I work with.
Yeah.
So I can make sure I'm working with the people I trust most.
Yeah.
Whereas with the band and stuff, we would go for like maybe a slightly cheaper option, or we were offered, people would make us offers.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't necessarily be the best option, but it worked for then and there.
And have you got a tour lined up, by the way?
Unfortunately not.
No. So when you do have a tour, will it just be you and an acoustic guitar, or will it be you with a few, you know, maybe a keyboard, maybe a set of drums and bits and bobs, just to show your talents at what you can do elsewhere?
If I was on my own on stage, it would definitely be me guitar, maybe a keyboards.
Yeah.
But
and so would you have a touring band?
I'd love to, yeah, because I think that just brings everything to life a lot more. And the songs I've got, I think it does need that kind of energy of the live band there to make it that special night.
Yeah.
I hate it when bands just go up, they play, they look really bored on stage, and everyone then kind of gets a bit of a downer, don't they, at gigs?
Yeah.
So I want to be that guy who, you're in that band, everyone loves it, because you're not there to necessarily, you don't maybe enjoy the songs, but you love the energy that's going on in the room. It's a good vibe in the room.
So the singles that you've got here at the moment, Move On, Can't Stop Thinking About You, and Pitch Perfect, coming out very shortly. Are these going to be little additions onto maybe an EP in the future or an album in the future?
Not at the moment.
No.
I think if I did an album, or definitely an album, I'd like to be signed to a record label and then have the funding through that to kind of take it down that way. But so I think for now, while I'm on my own, it's going to be singles and maybe an EP or maybe a printed album when I do gigs, just so people can buy it on a hard copy.
And I'm going to throw this one at you. I normally ask people, album title. Have you even thought of an album title? Or would it be self-titled?
It's kind of got to be self-titled, hasn't it? Oh, I don't know. Josh Holmes. That doesn't sound like a good album title. No, I haven't thought that far through.
You haven't thought that far?
No, not at all.
Maybe the next interview.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll have a think for the next one.
Look, it's been a delight talking to you.
Yes, thank you so much.
And it's been a nice little route from picking up that first instrument to where you are now. And I expect you're going to have a fantastic future. And I'm sure that young lady on Pitch Perfect, she'll be coming into the studio. Maybe,
hopefully.
Maybe.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. But thank you very much. And thank you for choosing me to be your interviewee.
No problem. Thank you for agreeing to be the interviewee.
Yeah. I think
Interviewer.
Interviewer. Yeah.
I'm the interviewee.
Yeah, you're the interviewee. I'm the interviewer. Yes. It's too early in the morning or afternoon or whatever time it may be. Who knows?
Yeah, it could be any time in the world.
Who knows? You can cut this bit out, so that's fine. But thank you very much, Josh, for coming along and talking about your music journey to where you are now. And let's see you in the future performing on the stage at the G'day Festival, performing in front of those hundreds, thousands of people, and getting to that pinnacle that you want to get to.
Yes, thank you very much, Paul.
No, thank you, and I'll see you soon on the stage.
Yes, definitely.
Take care.